Hello, my name is Em, and I would like to welcome you to this random episode, this random topic. Recently, I was reminded of a comment I left a few years ago in a video on hostels, and seeing that comment just reminded me of just the experience in a hostel and just re-triggered. I have constant wanderlust, and so I was like, it'll be cool to reflect on my experience in hostels. So I decided to take this time to record and share a little bit of what my experience has been. So I hope you enjoy. I feel like as long as you choose a good hostel, I think the experience can be really nice. For me, I would typically look for a hostel where it has like a locker. I would look for one that has, if I can get one with like the curtains, like for a little bit of like privacy and a little bit of a break from socializing if I feel a bit overwhelmed that day. I find that's a helpful thing to look for. And typically, I want to say most of the hostels I've stayed in are like that. But something I will say, if you tend to be a little bit on the clumsy side or don't take your time to do things carefully, and if you wake up at all in the middle of the night, maybe think carefully if you get a top bunk. I thought being on a top bunk would be fun. I'm pretty immature, so for me, the idea of just like, oh, I'm at the top bunk, it's just cool. I didn't have a bunk bed growing up. I kind of wanted one, but thank goodness my parents didn't get me a bunk bed because I'm way too clumsy, and I feel like I would not have made it to adulthood had I had a bunk bed because of the number of times I've fallen off. I fell off a bunk bed in Montenegro. I fell off a bunk bed in Barcelona. I just don't do well. I kept dropping things on the people below me in this one hostel. I feel so bad for that person. It was bad. I was constantly like, there's like a little space in between the bed, the mattress, and the wall. And so I would sometimes just like, oh, my toothpaste just fell down there, or I don't know, just random things like, and I felt so bad. And then I'd hear just like a, excuse me, or no, it sounded nicer than that. He was like, excuse me. And I was like, shoot. And I felt so bad. I apologize to that guy so much. And the funny thing is, I think we were staying in the hostel about the same time. It was my first time, I want to say. I think it was my first time in a mixed dorm room. Usually I typically stay like in an all-female dorm. It just depends on your comfort level. For me, I typically stayed in there, but I can't remember why I was feeling bold that time. I think actually it may have been all that they had, to be honest. That whole trip when I stayed in hostels, I stayed in mixed dorms, and it was cool because again, you get to meet all kinds of people, and usually I would be limited to whoever was in my dorm. That's the people who I'd most likely talk to, just because, you know, it's the end of the day, I'm putting some things up, and then somebody comes in from like France or Malaysia or Spain, and it's just cool. It's just really cool to have that opportunity to talk with so many different kinds of people, and it's a very natural setting to talk to people in, versus it's a little harder. I feel like if you're like in a hotel or something, it's a lot harder to get to, like, there's not the expectation, I guess, I don't think there is, for people to socialize all like that. But yeah, if everybody signs up to be in a dorm type situation, you're more likely to be comfortable or be open to saying hi to someone next to you, in my opinion. So that's cool. I would say that safety is something important to keep in mind. That's why I'm pretty particular. I do like to look for a certain kind of dorms. I did look at reviews of all the dorms, or all the hostels that I stayed in. So just to be sure that it was like a little bit on the safer side. And then of course I try to practice some level of safety. But I think it's cool too, because you can sometimes stay in like the cafes or the bars, or you can hang out in the cafes or bars that are connected to the hostel or near the hostel. So that's cool. Like one time I went to Barcelona with a friend, and we decided to go to the bar downstairs, and then before we knew it, we got caught up with a group that was heading to go out dancing. So to me it was cool, because if we weren't in the bar, I don't think I would have even known that was happening. And yeah, it just led to such an awesome night. Again, I would recommend be careful with who you go wandering off with. I don't think it's just safe to get up and go with just anybody, but we were good. Me and my friend, like, we kept a clear head during the night. So I know I didn't drink anything after we left the cafe. I didn't have anything else to drink. I'm not the type, I don't drink to get drunk. Like, I like the taste of wine. I like to be more aware. I'm far too clumsy anyway to lose any level of awareness. So that was something else that I looked out for. But I would say overall, the experience was pretty nice. And sometimes if you don't feel comfortable like initiating conversations, if you just are in a strategic place, sometimes opportunity will come to you. Or sometimes if you're sitting in those more public areas, sometimes people will initiate that conversation. Those people who are much more social, it's like they just bring all that energy and you're just like, oh. Sometimes though I did feel drained, and I would just take that time. Usually, like I said, if I was in a dorm that had the curtains that go across the bed, I would just go and close that, and boom, didn't have to worry about anything else. So that was nice. Yeah, but like I said, I think my experience overall was very positive, and it's very easy to have the kind of experience you want. I've also stayed in ones just very short term, like just to take a nap, depending on the price. If it was in my budget to go, like, just check into a hostel just to be there and sleep for a few hours before I had to catch a train somewhere or a plane somewhere, I did that as well. And I think it's nice just for like a nice spot to stop by and take a breath for a little bit, or even to familiarize yourself with the city. Even if you're looking for a more private place to stay, it can be nice just to have that like regroup time. And also, a lot of people will share a lot of their experience of what they've done for the day, or different key sites that you might want to see, or experiences you might want to have. They might talk a little bit about their country, and I learned a lot that way. That was, to me, that's the coolest thing, is just being able to meet somebody from a different country and hear about what their experience is, and just, I don't know, share perspective. I had a great range of conversations. I talked politics with some people, we talked food, we talked like history, we talked a lot of different things. So it just depends on what you want, but I definitely think it's worth it to give it a try. And that's at least been my experience. I look forward to staying in one again. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to staying in one. But anyway, I hope that this was helpful. Feel free to leave. My hand is so shaky right now. I've been holding this camera so long. Anyway, feel free to leave any questions or anything that you have down below. I'm happy to answer your questions. So anyway, thanks for watching. I will catch you in the next video. Bye for now.